A very good morning to my dear students. I hope that you are doing well and keeping safe at your homes. Anyway, once again welcome back to 8th grade English class. So, in the last class we were actually going with gerunds, and I hope that you have a clear idea about gerunds and its usages. So, gerunds, as we discussed in the last class, is actually the ing form of verbs. So, when we add the ing form to certain verbs, we get the gerund form. And in the last class we also came to know what is actually the major difference between a present participle and a gerund. Both are actually ing forms, but a present participle is used only in a verb sense, and a gerund is always used in a noun sense. See, for example, he has been traveling continuously for the last 5 hours. There, traveling is used as a present participle because it is used as a verb. But traveling is his passion. But there, even though it is written in the ing form, there traveling is used as the subject. That means there it is used as a noun. So, it can be an example of a gerund. So, in that way, I know that now you are very much familiar with the use of gerunds. Okay, anyway, today we are actually going to deal with the remaining grammatical item which is left in the same chapter. It is nothing other than future continuous. So, before going to deal with the content which is given here, let me ask you what is actually the structure of future continuous. Yeah, subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb plus ing. Once again I am repeating, subject plus will or shall plus be form plus main verb plus ing. Okay, please look at this example. I will be watching TV. Subject is there, will is there, be is there, main verb is there, its ing form is there, object. So, subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb plus ing is actually the format or the structure of future continuous. Now, let us have a look into the content which is given here. I am going to read, please do listen. Future continuous. Study this example. Jude is a hockey fan and there is a hockey match on television in the afternoon. The match begins at 4 p.m. and ends at 5:15 p.m. His sister Sandra wants to meet Jude in the afternoon and wants to know what time to come. So, the situation mentioned here is actually Jude's like hockey very much, and there is actually a hockey match on the television in the afternoon, but at the same time her sister actually wanted to meet him. So, her sister actually wanted to know at what time she has to come or at what time he will be free. Okay. So, look at the conversation that happened in between them. Sandra, is it alright if I come at about 4:30? What do you say? Are you free at 4:30? Is it alright if I come at about 4:30? Jude, no, please don't come then. No, do not come at that time. I will be watching the hockey match on TV. I will be watching the hockey match on TV. Oh well, what about 5:30? Then what about 5:30? Will I come at 5:30? Yes, that will be just fine. The match will have ended by then. Yeah, if it is 5:30, I am okay. Then the match will be over at over before 5:30, and at 5:30 I will be possibly free. Now look at the explanation given below. We use the future continuous will be watching to say that we will be in the middle of doing something at a certain time in the future. So we primarily used future continuous to say that we will be engaged in doing something in between a particular time in the future. See, for example, now I can explain it with this example. Okay, listen, I will be watching the hockey match on TV, and when this hockey match will begin, it will begin at 4 p.m. and it will end at 5:15 p.m. So between that mentioned time, in between that mentioned time, that means from 4 p.m. onwards till 5:15 p.m. This person will be doing something. So that is what here it is written, that we use future continuous to say that we will be in the middle of doing something. We will be doing something at a certain time in the future. So from 4 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. in the afternoon, he will be watching the hockey match on TV. That means he will not be free from 4 to 5:15. So in such cases we tend to use future continuous. So here I am going to repeat, future continuous is used to speak about an action that is going to happen at a particular period or at a certain period in the future. Okay, so here this speaker is in the middle of doing something. Here the speaker is in the middle of doing something at a certain time in the future. And what is the time mentioned here? Between 4 p.m. to 5:15. Okay, so here it is said that the person is in the middle of doing something. Doing something what? The person is in the middle of watching the hockey match on TV at a certain time in the future. That means from 4 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. So in such cases we have to use future continuous. So future continuous is used in order to speak about an action that is going to happen at a certain time in the future. Okay, so that is actually the first use of future continuous. Now we are actually moving with the second one, speak about things which are already planned. See, I am saying that I will be going for a movie this afternoon. I will be going for a movie this afternoon. So when I say I will be going for a movie this afternoon, the decision has already been taken. I am speaking about something which I have already planned. So in such cases also we can use future continuous. Now look at the example given in your textbook. Look at this example. My daughter will be going to the market this afternoon. So her going to the market that afternoon is already planned. So that is what it is said that we use future continuous to speak about something already planned or already designed. So I will be going this afternoon for a movie. I will be going this afternoon to the park. So all these are examples. So in all those examples, it is clear that yeah, we are speaking about something that is already planned or that is already decided. Okay. Then coming back to the last category, asking about people's plan, and you have to remember one more thing that is actually written in your textbook. See here, my daughter will be going to the market this afternoon. So this is almost similar to present continuous. My daughter will be going to the market this afternoon. So we can express the same meaning using present continuous also. See, my daughter is going to the market this afternoon. If we speak like that, it is also right. So the meaning is same in present continuous and in future continuous. So that is there it is written as, look at the next page, page number 144. My daughter is going to the market this afternoon. So the same meaning is the same meaning can be conveyed with the use of present continuous also. So my daughter will be going to the market this afternoon, that is actually an example of a future continuous, and my daughter is going to the market this afternoon, that is actually an example of a present continuous tense. And both these tenses are used to speak about something, to speak about things which are already planned and which are already decided. Okay. And we are actually going with the last one, asking about people's plans. And future continuous is also used in order to speak about people's plans or asking about people's plans. See, for example, will Nihal be coming for the movie with Adil Mubarak this afternoon? Yeah, it is actually asking about a plan, Nihal's plan about going with Adil Mubarak. So in such cases also we can use future continuous. So I am going to write the textual example given here. Look at the example, look at the textual example. Will you be using your dictionary today? So the speaker is asking, will you be using your dictionary today? So look at subject plus will plus be plus main verb plus ing. So it is actually written in the correct format of future continuous. So future continuous is can also be used for asking about people's plans. So the other person is actually asking about his plan. Okay, whether he will be going to use his dictionary or not. If not, maybe the other person actually interested to use the dictionary for the time being. Okay, that might be the reason. Anyway, so we can use future continuous when we are asking about people's plans. So these are actually the usages of future continuous. Anyway, based on this discussion, you will have two sets of examples. Sorry, you will have two sets of exercises. So C and D. So you have to go through those two sets of exercises and you have to complete each and every sentence using the correct option. Okay. Anyway, please take the first set of exercise. Fill in the blanks in the passage with the correct verb group from the list given below. You will have will be going away, will be going round, will be leaving, will not be seeing. All those phrases are written in future continuous. Now listen, 2000 years ago there was a rich man called in Greece, Diogenes. He owned so many things but he was never happy. One day invited Diogenes all his friends to a party. Afterwards he gave away everything he owned, even his clothes, to his friends. Then he said, friends, then which will be the suitable one? Friends, I will be going away tomorrow. We will not be seeing each other for quite some time. So similarly you have to complete. So in that way you have to complete the other sentences also. Then look at the next set of exercise. Here is a passage about what life will be like 50 years from now. Fill in the blanks using the future simple or the future continuous forms of the verbs given in the brackets. The first two have been done for you. So, in order to fill this paragraph, you can take use of both future simple and future continuous. So, one example has been done for you. So, similarly, so in that way you can complete the rest of the paragraph by taking the use of future simple and future continuous. So, now please turn over the page and take page number 146. So, here let us use the dictionary. Study these dictionary extracts. The entries are all compound words that have the word water. So, here you will have a set of compound words using the word water. Water borne, water cannon, water fountain, water hole, waterlogged, water polo, waterproof, water supply. And the meaning of all those compound words using the word water are given there. So, you have to be familiar with these words and their meanings, and based on your understanding you are asked to complete the 6 sentences given below. So, read the first one. Improving the dash to rural areas is high on the government's list of priorities. So, which will be the suitable one? Yeah, improving the water supply. So, the meaning of water supply is actually the water provided for a town, an area or a building, the act of or system for supplying water to a town, etc. So, water supply will be the suitable one there. So, similarly, you have to go to the 5 other sentences and you have to complete the sentences using the correct options from the box given above. Okay. So, now we are actually going with the last creative discourse given in the same chapter, formal letter. Okay, now we are actually going with the last creative discourse included in this chapter. So, here we are going with formal letter. So, I think that you are very familiar with the format for writing formal letter. Anyway, please note that this is actually the correct format for writing formal letter. So, first everything should be on the margin side or everything should be on the left side, and there should be the sender's address and then date, then receiver's address, then salutation, then subject line, then body, and again that body part is divided into 3 subpoints. First one introduction, then main content, and then we need to have conclusion. Then after that complementary clause, signature and name of the sender. Okay. So, first of all you have to write sender's address. So, in sender's address you have to mention your address. You have to mention the address of the sender. Okay. Then date. So, date should be written, see for example, yeah, 4th January 2021. So, it should be written in this manner. Okay. Then receiver's address, you have to mention to whom you are actually addressing the letter. Then salutation, then you have to salute the receiver. Then after that you have to mention the subject of this formal letter, and the subject should be very precise and it is catchy. Then body, and body should be divided into 3 points: introduction, main content and conclusion. So, first of all you have to introduce what is your topic of concern. So, in the introduction part you can introduce what is actually the topic of your concern. Then you can give details, that is main content, and after that you can conclude your letter. That means what you are actually trying to convey, or what you are actually expecting, or what you are actually wishing to get by drafting such a letter, and that all can be included in the conclusion. Okay. Then it should be, there should be a closing, that means a complementary clause and signature and the name of the sender. Okay. And the complementary clauses that we used in formal letter are yours faithfully, yours sincerely, and yours truly. All those complementary clauses can be used in formal letter. Okay. Then here you will have a question. Read the question. Write a letter to the editor of a local newspaper sharing your concern about the prevailing prejudice against women becoming drivers in public transport vehicles. So the topic is actually, your concern about women drivers in public transport vehicles. Okay. So then you have to mention your address, then the date in this format, and then you have to write down, or you have to mention the address of the receiver to whom you are addressing the letter. Then you have to write down the salutation, then subject line. What is actually the subject line? The subject line should be very precise. You can write the subject as prejudice against women becoming drivers in public transport system. Okay. And then you have to write down the body. So there should be 3 points in your body, in your content. First of all, introduction. So why you are writing the letter? So you can write in the introductory part as, I am writing this letter to express my concern over the prejudice against women becoming the drivers in public transport system. So in that way you can introduce your topic. Then in the main content you can say why you are against this topic, what all things you are actually quoting that actually made you to be against this notion, this. Then in the main content, then under this portion you can say why you are against women becoming the drivers in public transport system. In that way you can bring your points, why you are actually against women becoming drivers in public transport system. Okay. And then you have to conclude your letter, what you are actually trying to request to the authority. So in that way all these 3 points should be there. Then you can write complementary clause, and then you can sign and mention your name. So in that way you can write a formal letter. So this is the way in which a formal letter should be written. So we have almost completed all those exercises that are included in this chapter. So I hope that you understood everything which we discussed today. Anyway, I think this is a time to wind up. Thank you and have a nice day.